Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Yoders Farm. I'm Eldon, and Lowell's with me again today to talk about things here at the farm. Welcome to the podcast, Lowell.
Yes, sir, Eldon. Yes, sir. Good to be here.
It's a beautiful spring day outside, sorta. Kind of chilly.
Yeah.
February 6th, I think it is.
I was just going to look, but I won't. It's too much of a pain.
I think that's right, or 7th. It's right in that ballpark somewhere.
Yeah. It's one of the single-digit days.
Yeah.
Groundhog Day was last Wednesday or Tuesday.
Yeah, so did you hear what happened?
Now you're going to have to look. Do you know?
About what?
Oh, I thought you were looking to figure out when Groundhog Day was.
I was just looking to see if it was February 6th, and then I had a message, and it was kind of all got off the rails there pretty quick.
I didn't personally look, but I think I was told that he saw a shadow. It was a cloudy day, so I don't know how he saw a shadow.
Yeah, I'm assuming their night vision has got better and better.
It could be, with technology especially.
So they can see their shadows more easly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to be wrong, too.
Yeah.
At least today it feels like he's wrong.
This whole week kind of is trending warmer-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's very pleasant.
It's kind of nice for a change.
It is, yeah. Yeah, I woke up this morning feeling like I was 3 weeks behind already.
That's what you said earlier today.
It was kind of funny because, last week it was so sloppy and muddy.
And cold rained most of the time.
Yeah, it was cold and rainy. And it's like there's no way you can get outside to do anything. And that was true then. But now it feels like, spring is definitely right here. I assume that's what you wanted to talk to me about, which is why I'm sitting up here in this chair.
Yeah, I guess just our normal kind of recap what we've been up to and what's coming up. And
I need to clear my throat.
Okay,
Will that
go
bother
ahead.
Anybody?
No.
Okay.
Just go ahead. Don't move the thing. It's worse if you do.
There.
This throat clearing brought to you by...
Feels a little better.
Somebody's throat lozenges.
Yeah, so it's been quite a while since we recorded. I believe it was late December.
I think we did one in January, didn't we?
It's a great thing we can spend most of the podcast discussing either the date or when we last recorded, and then we're pretty much done.
That's awful.
I thought it was right at the end of December, and we were looking at
December 22.
We were looking at the forecast, and it was looking. They had that really bitter stretch coming up, and then, as everyone knows, that we had that. Basically Christmas and right after Christmas.
Yeah.
Or was it right before? I think Christmas was on a Sunday, so it was like Friday and Saturday of that. Like the 23rd, 24th.
Yeah.
Really bitter temperatures and all that wind, and of course everyone remembers it. So we recorded right ahead of that.
It was December 22.
And we were basically like... Well, wonder what's going to happen. Hopefully everything will be okay. So now we can discuss what happened and what didn't happen.
Well, it was kind of a mess, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was actually kind of a mess. We lost power for about a day, which is sort of an issue when you have greenhouses. So fortunately we have a fairly good backup system. Generator system, so we were able to get that cranked and keep everything above freezing for the most part in the greenhouses. And I think they came through fairly well. It got cold enough in the one greenhouse that we had some frost damage.
I see.
Yeah, which is not typical.
No.
For tomatoes that are grown inside.
In the greenhouse, yeah.
Yeah, probably the worst thing it did was it really beat the strawberries up quite a bit. And
have they
it's a little
come
bit
back at all?
To be determined as to what extent. Basically, so there's a couple things. One, the crazy wind and we thought we had stuff stitched down
Row covers.
fairly well, row covers, but in hindsight, it wasn't as well as it needed to be. But plus, we just had covers that just ripped.
Yeah.
It was so windy, and yeah, so there's still shards of row covers hanging in trees and various places.
From here to Lynchburg, I think.
No, it's to the east.
Okay.
Because it was a northwest wind. Appomattox, I
Yeah,
guess.
probably.
So that wasn't good. In the places where we lost covers, it really burned the plants badly, which in and of itself isn't necessarily the end of the world.
Yeah. We were already struggling with those plants.
We had some plants that were already very small.
Yeah.
And if you have a really small plant because of being late planted, because of supplier issues,
extemporary, whatever.
Yeah. So, if you have a little plant anyway, and then you burn it really badly, it's just not going to yield very well. So I'm pretty sure we're looking at some of that. We did have some plants, a portion of our plants we were able to get actually planted on time. They came through all the channels, got them in the ground, and they actually looked really, really, really good. But those are the plants that we lost covers on, and so they just got scorched. And so it was kind of discouraging to have your best plants, get burned badly.
Yeah.
So I don't know what all we're looking at they are starting to push out.
So that was a month ago. So
right.
Yeah.
It's been warm enough since, and really the winter's been mild.
Yeah.
Except for that little blip.
Right.
About a week period or less.
Yeah.
So they're definitely pushing out some from the centers. It's normal for them to do that at this time of the year, but what that means for the spring, I don't know. I would expect yield loss, at least to some extent. I would expect maybe it would push us later than maybe we would have been. Of course, it stays warm between now and then, which it won't. But if it would, maybe that advances you some. But anyway, so there's just a lot of unknowns. We've never quite had those extreme
circumstances,
temperatures and so forth. So
interesting.
That's kind of where we're at with the strawberries, where they are pushing, and it's finally dry enough. We need to start working with them, and I'm afraid it's going to make for a pretty major spring cleaning project because there's a lot of dead plant material on the strawberries, and we need to remove that as best we can to allow the new growth to come up out of the middle.
That would be in the next month or so, or
someone ought to be out there right now doing it.
Okay. Well,
but it's hard to be at 3 different places at once. So that's the strawberry update. Tomatoes we are rolling along on them pretty good. We're finally picking tomatoes now, have been for a little while, and starting to get some decent quantities of those. The days are lengthening. They've been lengthening for over a month now, so they're finally, I think that's starting to help some.
Yeah.
Basically, we have tomatoes in 3 greenhouses. We're picking in one, just starting to pick in the other one. And then we have, it's quite a drop back in age.
Till the third one.
For the third one, that'll be more of a spring house. But it's looking good, mostly.
Except for that one.
The small house has a little bit of something. Well, it's got a hodgepodge of different age tomatoes in there, and anyway, but I think at some point we'll be happy for all the tomatoes that we have. So that's kind of where we're at in a nutshell. What else did you want to talk about?
I don't know. I think that's mostly it, right? I mean, what else is going on around here? It's just kind of...
It's just the point of the year is, we're definitely starting to ratchet towards, your thinking about, spring is definitely right around the corner. You're always thinking as far ahead as you can, to things that need to be done, and yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that's just kind of right on the cusp of happening, I guess you would say. Nature kind of has its, it always gears up for the next season ahead. And so
we need to too.
Yeah. I was before I came up here, I was looking. I ran in front of some bee colonies because I thought they would be actively working today, and sure enough, they're bringing in pollen to beat the band.
What's got pollen on it right now?
It's probably maple. If you notice, the maples are.
I hadn't thought about it yet.
Yeah, the one here
usually
in the yard is really close. I'm guessing they found maybe one that was pushed a little bit farther, maybe a little more southern orientation.
I guess it's that time of year.
It might be henbit, or I think it's henbit or dead nettle. One of those winter annuals blooms early as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of a pale looking pollen, but yeah, sure enough, they're pretty active. I mean, it's about 60 degrees, so yeah.
Very cool.
As soon as they bring in pollen, I was actually into my hives last week, and some of them are really starting to brood up.
Okay.
So they're definitely planning ahead.
Yeah.
It's just fascinating that
did that cold weather bother them much, or were they kind of in deep
they can withstand
anyway?
Fairly cold temperatures they people keep bees on up into Canada, so they cluster together and so forth. I did have one hive that I found that froze out sometime over the last few weeks, or maybe during that cold snap, and I think it was just probably too small. Maybe it may have been a feed issue, but I don't think so. I think it was.
It's just didn't have enough mass, you're saying?
Yeah, the bigger the cluster is, they work in and out of that, and they keep. I mean, if they're, I think brood, I can't even remember. Brood needs to be above, 80 degrees or something crazy. So to think about that and have when you're still dealing with freezing temperatures is pretty incredible.
That is fascinating.
Insects can get it up to that warmth.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Very good. Well, it looks like we have our work cut out for us in the coming weeks. And
yeah, you just have to kind of try to prioritize, plan ahead as best you can, and just get it done one way or another.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything else you want to add before we wrap up here?
No, I think maybe next time we'll have a little better idea about
strawberry stuff.
Yeah, what all's happening and going on. So this is just a quick late winter, early spring. I guess it's not really early spring yet. It just feels like it.
Feels like it, yeah. It do feel like it, though. All right. Well, thank you for listening. There's somebody walking by the road out there. There's a vehicle parked down there. What the world?
Where's the vehicle?
Straight away.
Over in the field?
I think so. Anyway, thanks for listening. If you made it this far, you can always find out more about Yoders Farm over on our website, yodersfarm.com. And we'll be back in a couple of weeks to talk to you again. See ya.